Hello, everybody. What's going on? AJay, the CEO here. And no, I have not updated that yet. Hope all of y'all are doing great. Oh, man. 83 episodes, folks. And then we just hit this morning 48,000 subscribers. Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. Where's my... I should have pulled up my sounds here. Hold on. This was unscripted. Where's my sound effects? Oh, I'm not connected. Hold on. I don't know which number is which. There it is. So, again, let's do that again. Hey, we just hit 48,000 subscribers, folks. Yay. I hope y'all are doing well. Let me verify my sound here real quick. There it is. Do that again. Hey, we just hit 40. All right, so I can hear from there. I hope y'all are doing well, folks. Again, AJay the CEO. Thank you so much for joining me on most of the time, every Friday. We try and do a Q&A to try and answer some of your pressing questions as best as I possibly can. At no point in time do I know everything, but it's an opportunity for us to come on together. Most of us who are media ministries, and we can work in media ministry, and we kind of share what we know, work to collaboratively to work together in the comments or anything like that. Again, this is a subscriber only live stream because of some nonsense that's been going on. We got Mike in the chat who has Mjolnir, which is actually over there right now. Did I show y'all that? I think I did. Hold on. So maybe I need to send Mike one of these, ship one of these out here to Canada. So we got our Lego Mjolnir. So he's just bashing and taking care of people who are act up in the comments. But you never know. I might have a guest here in a moment if they're off. Hold on a second. Hey, little girl. Ayana. Come here. Get off your phone and come here. The challenges of fatherhood. Come on. Sit down. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
What are you doing today, Ayana?
We are going to the movies.
What movie are we going to see?
Sonic 2.
Oh, okay. So what are you doing? You just playing on your phone, huh?
Yes.
You miss school?
No.
Oh, okay. So today's your last day of spring break, right?
No.
Yes. I mean, you got the weekend, but you don't go to school on the weekend, right?
No.
Okay, but were you going back to school on Monday, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you going to sit in with me, or are you going to go back and just play on your phone?
I want to stay with you.
All right. So we're going to see if we can answer some questions. You can't hear anything. I don't have.
I have some headphones.
Yeah, stand up for a second. Are they plug-in headphones? Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead and get those.
I don't know if they work. Well,
Yeah.
they probably do work because.
Okay. All right, folks. So again, we are here. I got my cohort. Let me see if I can get you plugged in here so you can hear. How did you tear these headphones up?
Scissors.
Why would you use scissors on your headphones? Sit down. You don't know? I don't do that. I don't know stuff. Hold on one second, folks. Let me get her squared away here. Can you hear?
Not right now.
You can't hear yourself?
No.
You should be able to hear yourself if you're talking into the microphone.
Okay.
You can't hear yourself.
I can hear myself.
That's what I just asked you.
Oh. I thought you meant hear myself through the headphones.
Yes, hear yourself through the headphones. You can't hear yourself. You can't hear yourself through the. Stop. You can't hear yourself through the headphones.
Yes, I can.
Thank you. All right. Like pulling teeth, folks. And please do not get up without taking your headphones off, because you're going to pull everything off this table.
Okay.
All right. All right, folks. So we's here. They said that you wanted the headphones to be wireless. Mr. Francisco, yeah, those are her school ones. That it seems that she took some scissors to, and she does have some wireless ones. They're Bluetooth though, but can't connect Bluetooth to the Rodecaster. And everybody said they can hear you fine.
Hey.
All right, folks. So, again, we're here. If you don't mind, go ahead. I think I already did this, but make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't, hit subscribe. That's the only way you're going to be able to comment on this live stream. And hit that bell notification. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. And like I said, folks, we are at 48,000. So you know what that means. We are inching closer to this 50K giveaway. And please do not use that bottom link, because we're still having some issues with that. But I think I had the link. Should be there. If not, I'll post it later. But Yeah, folks. So let's chime in and just say hello to everybody. We got Mike, hello. Brian Jones, hello. Francisco, hello. Parker Jennings, hello. Danny, hey, from Nova Scotia. Awesome. Welcome. What's up? Creative for Fun, hello. Christoph Richard from Germany, hello, hello. SDT live stream, good morning. Rodney, hello. Keith, hello. Dylan, what's up, man? John Cook, hello. Monty, hey, folks, make sure you subscribe to Monty. He's dropping some knowledge on some ways to put some income in your pocket. Make sure you check him out. Monty, thanks for joining. MA16V3, what's up? Reverend Richard, what's up? Mitch Roy, hello. LV Collier, hello. Carriers of the Covenant, what's up? And I think that's what we got so far. But hey, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling, folks. So fire away your questions. It looks like Brian has the first question here. AJ, watching how to send video to your church with a thank you God smile as I created a draft proposal for my church on Monday. Awesome. I actually did that with Patrick, and that was based off of that video as well too. He requested that. But your second part of the comment was, Blackmagic Design talks about the possibility of rolling screens on the asynchronous versions while switching inputs. Have you seen that occur out in the field? No, I have not. I have not at all. Honestly, out of all the installs I've done, Good Shepherd is the only one that's actually used that, because when I started explaining it, most people just saw the price, and it's $2,000, but it is very user-friendly and is very powerful, but no one has really asked anything else about that. So I guess I should move this question. I didn't know I was going to have a co-star who's doing some sign messages in the background, right? What you over there doing, little girl?
Nothing.
Nothing. You're not answering any questions? All right. See, that's what I'm saying, Yanni. When we get our house, we're gonna have maybe a studio, so you actually have your own camera, your own desk, and all that other good stuff. Let's see what else we got going on here. Dylan wants to know about the X32. Does the X32 need Wi-Fi to work? I know it needs it for the remote control feature, but does it need it for work as a mixer in general? No, actually, there is no built-in Wi-Fi to the X32. The X32 actually has to be plugged in to your network, and then your iPad just sees it over your network as long as the Wi-Fi is connected and it's an extension of your wired network. That's how I've always had it installed. Now the XR18s and the other ones, they have Wi-Fi built in directly, but not the not the X32. What are you doing, little girl? I got you on camera. You're like just zooming in and out. What are you doing? You leaning forward?
I don't know what to do.
Oh, you never know. You might get some questions here. Let's see what else we got. John, how do you find technical people you can train as your future replacement? I have assistants, but they don't have the technical ability to take over one day. Find operators, but can't troubleshoot. That's really, you have to, for me, I'm kind of in the same situation. No one has found this to be interesting. Like this little girl right here. This little girl right here, yes, I'm talking about you. So, Yanni, do you like Lego blocks?
Yes.
When you have Lego blocks and me and you when we put Legos together, we normally follow the instructions. After we do that, do you play with Lego blocks and just use your imagination to try and figure out anything?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I'm saying that is you're looking for stuff, a mindset like that. Now, not just looking at it as troubleshooting, because most people hear the first part of that word, trouble, and they don't want to deal with that. But you're looking for an inquisitive spirit, a mindset of like, I like to figure stuff out. I want to solve a problem, or just liking how things work. I I think kind of like the mindset with me, I don't really go searching for those people. I let those people select themselves. And unfortunately, no one has been in a position at Antioch has shown me that they want to do anything other than, they're interested in how to run the stuff, but not the next step of how to figure out how that stuff goes. So unfortunately, I'm kind of like in the boat with you with that. And it's mainly, I like to show people everything, and then they raise their hand, literally or figuratively, of interest in wanting to learn more about that. So what do y'all say? Anybody else? What are y'all thoughts about that? How do you find those type of people who are into wanting to know beyond just using the equipment, but how the equipment works from a troubleshooting standpoint? Reverend Richard, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Mitch Roy from Jamaica. I'm actually trying to plan a trip to Jamaica. I was just talking to one of my friends trying to get down there for the weekend, but most of my weekends are kind of booked all the way out until June. But then that's when we're doing some vacation time. MA16V3, any suggestions on sending a mix minus for a remote guest feed? Pastor could just do his own voice over IP call, but that's one more piece that needs to be aware. I mean, what are you using for your mix? And that can help going that way. So Yanni, somebody was saying, since we're going to see Sonic, they said that I need to give you the full treatment. We need to go to Sonic so you can have a Sonic burger and a shake. Remember, we haven't been to Sonic in a long time though. It's like a fast food spot where you drive up and sometimes they come out with on roller skates and bring you food.
Oh, now I remember.
You want to do that after we go? Okay. All righty. And again, John, thank you so much. Again, it's not me, it's all of y'all. So I'm just thankful for the fact that y'all want to subscribe. So Yanni, did you know we hit 48,000 subscribers today? Yep, hit it this morning. Well, you were still asleep. We're supposed to be going SDT. I don't know. I gotta be careful. I say that so fast. So my apologies. Sierra Delta Tango. I should say it like that. Live stream. They say I gotta bring you to the Sesame Place that's in Langhorne near Bristol, Pennsylvania. I'm supposed to be going to Bristol, Pennsylvania on the 26th. I just got a train ticket, so we're gonna be going up there. I'm gonna be going up there for the day, but you're gonna be in school. I know. Darn that school stuff, right? Why are you pouting, little girl?
Because I want to go with you.
Yeah, I do. I want you to go too, but I need you to come with me so you can work. And you can climb in the attic and crawl spaces where all the bugs and ants and rats and stuff like that and pull cables.
I have one thing. The only thing I'm glad up there, because ants are my friend.
Ants are your friend?
Yes.
Oh, so you're like Ant-Man and the Wasp, and you can talk to ants, like Antony?
I can't talk to ants.
Oh.
But me and my friends used to be picking them up.
Oh. So you were doing that at school, where, daycare?
Daycare.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I did not know that. Let's see. What else we got? Jerry, hello. What is going on? And then the question is, greetings from North Dakota. I'm hoping that that's what that is. If it's not, please correct me. Please give us a review. On the review of the GTD audio wireless mics. They're great. I can do I don't know. It's kind of hard to give a deep dive unless I actually plug into it. I did do a walkthrough that I'm still editing of First Union, because guess what? We're finished. Yay, that whole install is done. But I think they're really good. Now, the one thing is with the models that I got, you cannot adjust the frequency of the mics. So when I ordered 2 of them, they sent me the exact same ones, but I was able to return them, and they sent me a different frequency. So they work great. I have these mics at First Union. I'm going to be installing them at Union Branch. I believe that's the name of the church, as well as they're at Signs and Wonders, and they sound great. And they are nowhere close to the price of what I thought other ones are. I got this recommendation from co-pastor J. Kyle Nicholson. That's what he uses at Gates of Faith Ministries. And from what he said, he was saying that some of the engineers that used to be at Shure left and started GTD Audio, and they sound very, very close to being the same. So I'm happy with them so far. Still got to dial in the mics a little bit in the not the mics. I got to dial in the X32 at First Union. I know I said I was done, but the personal mixers are supposed to be delivered sometime today, and then I'm going to go there and just plug those in, and then technically we're done. Funwayo, hey, how are you doing, sir? Hope you are well. Free Union Baptist Church, hey, good morning. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Mousy, what is going on? I'm going to ask you how you liking the camera, or have you had a chance to use it yet? Want to know. Little girl, stop breathing so hard into the mic. Got a question here from Timothy. AJ, good morning, my friend. Question, what or which 8x8 matrix video controller do you recommend? Well, it depends. What are you trying to do with it? I like the Ori ones. I've used a 4x8 for them. But again, I mean, what type of functionality are you going to be using it for, and how easy do you want it to be able to switch? Do you want a remote? Do you want network access? Something like that. Give me that, and I can help for that, or as best as I can. Oasis of Hope, Chicago. How do you bring audio into vMix on my laptop? Well, on your laptop, probably the easier thing for you to do is get an audio interface like the Scarlett or the Focusrite 2i2, or any type of audio interface that will connect XLR, quarter-inch, whatever, RCA from your mixer, turn it into USB, and USB goes into the system. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm using a Rodecaster. Hold on. Stepped on my mic. Trying to turn my overhead. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, though. Yeah, you can. All right. So, like in my setup right now, you see right here, that's my Rodecaster. That is a glorified, well, it is a mixer, but it also is a web interface. So the audio that you're hearing right now is taking these mics and my daughter's mic, which is connected over XLR, and it's going directly into the mixer, and then the mixer is doing USB into vMix. That's how you're able to hear. So that would be the easiest way to do that. From a cost standpoint, you can use that. Rode actually has one as well too. If I can go here, it's a mini interface. Oh, they got some headphones. Yanni, I think we might need to get some new headphones here. Yay. Let's see how they work. Click on this, but we'll come back to that. But if we're here, you're looking for an audio interface. And they have, so that's the one that I'm using. They have this micro that you can use, or the single channel. That is a possibility of what you can use. So again, you would connect one output from here, and let's see the back, and then comes out USB-C that will go into your computer. Something like this may work. Again, personally, I have not used that one. They also have this compact one that technically would work the exact same way. You would need to convert your mics coming from your mixer into like a 3.5 millimeter, or a technical, like a something like this. It's a 3.5 millimeter stereo connection. You would need something like that. But yeah, that's what you would need. I mean, because that's the same thing I'm using. But let me see what's up with these headphones, Yanni. We might need to get some of these. Are they wired? Are they wireless? Yes.
Supposed to be at least hearing what they're saying in my headphones.
You should be able to hear what I'm saying. You can't?
I can't hear what they're saying.
No, you can't hear what they're saying, baby. It's just what me and you can hear.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're wired. How much are these going for? Because I do need some new headphones in general. Let's see. Oh, Sweetwater. Those are my folks. Okay, that's not bad. And that's my guy Patrick that I'm contacting all the time when we're getting new products and stuff like that. So I'm a hold on to this. Maybe get 2 of them so I can have for the little one here. Because I love the Rode stuff, so I just use them for everything. So, hey, we're good to go. All right, let's go to our next question here. Ayani, there's a question for you coming up here.
Hey.
Shane and Hannah, what's going on? Otis from Texas, what's going on? Otis, man, did you watch the Cyber Rodeo from Tesla open up their factory? They had a whole bunch of drones that were doing the shape of Nikola Tesla, and then it converted into a wall. And I mean, they had traffic stopping on the side of the road to watch the fireworks and the drones and everything like that. I need to get down there. But I'll put a bug in y'all's ear. We're looking at Model Y, December. That's what we're looking at. Oh, yeah. So, Sierra, Delta, Tango, live stream. Yanni would like to know, how old are you?
I'm 7 years old.
Oh, so you're going to be what age at the end of this year?
8.
So 7 plus 1 is 8. Yep, that's right. You are right. Mitch Roy is saying, yep, AJ, completely agree with you. I've had that issue with my team. Yeah, that's one of the unique things. Like I always jokingly say that when we start delving into media ministry, we think it's so overwhelming when we start live streaming. Once we get there, we go down 2 levels because it's like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. Once you get there, you realize it's so much. As being a minister of music for almost 30 years, I thought, again, I've never been a pastor. My dad was. He was saying that being a pastor is a very difficult job. The next thing I would think would be difficult is being a minister of music, because now you got to get a whole bunch of people to work together, musicians, choir members, and everything, and you can't fire anybody. That's difficult. And then the next one I would say is media, because, I mean, you got to train a whole lot of people on a skill set that honestly is a job in of itself. And most people are not doing this type of stuff on a daily basis. So you're really looking for somebody, and I've been meaning to do a video about this, and I probably will when I have some more time to sit down and just talk. It's just going to be a talking head video. From, you have one side that people understand, they are happy and love what they're doing. And then, I mean, love to do the stuff, love to volunteer. That's what I meant. Love to volunteer for whatever is needed. Then you have other hand, you have people that just do it because it's a sense of duty. I have to do this because there's nobody else to do it. And when you marry both of those two together, you have purpose, to where you love what you're doing and you know there's a reason why you do what you do. And it just talks about that there are different phases of that. Now, you don't negate anybody that is in one of those 3 phases, but the goal is to try and drive and get more people that have a purpose behind it, because then now you don't have to get them to study, get them to try out, get them to train, get them to research and do more things. But that's the battle that all of us are having in here. You tired, little girl? You can go back and play on your phone. Oh, okay. Mitch Roy, yes, I will let you know if we make that trip down that way. I think I already answered that question. But Oasis of Hope, I mean, give me an example. I mean, I already answered this question, but give me an example of what mixer do you have? Back to John. Thanks, AJ. I feel you. I'm waiting, praying for that person who wants to take it to the next step. As you mentioned, our pastor is scheduling events nearly continuously. I need help. Totally understand. Back to MA16V3. The X32 is being used for mixing. Better to use a USB interface or a line in on the sound card. Honestly, I would say the line in for the sound card because, I mean, you don't have an extra piece of another device in between. But again, both will work. Simplicity is just going into the sound card because you just need a cable compared to another cable to a USB interface to a USB jack on the back of your computer. So that's it. Otis says, howdy, Yanni.
Howdy.
Yanni, you look so sad, baby. Tired? Bored? This isn't your cup of tea?
Bored.
Hey, well, like I said, you don't have to be here. I just asked you if you wanted to sit in. You can always come back if you want to come back. I'm going to be here for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Take your headphones off. Thank you. Take your headphones off. All righty. Close your door, babe. Thank you. Sandra, hello. Hey, you're not late. We is here. So we is good to go. So, trying to turn my fan on. All these lights making it hot. Rhonda, hey, good morning. Scott. No, we do. They just not in the area where they're at. Thank God for that. Cares of the Covenant wants to know, what is a simple explanation of presets on the PTZ and what they do? I will actually show you because that will make it a lot easier. Let me remote in to the church's computer. And I'm wondering, do y'all, when I said that in my other video, do y'all know where that line is from? Did mommy or daddy buy you a pewter for Christmas? Let me know if you know what movie that's from. That used to be one of my favorite movies, even though it is nowhere close to being realistic. But anyway, I digress. All right, so let's go full screen here. And get my camera here. All right, so a preset with the cameras is just a locked in position that the camera will move to automatically. And in case you don't have a position or somebody's there to actually remotely control the camera. So I am here locked into the cameras at my church. And I'm going to pick the back PTZ. So I have a bunch of positions that are saved in the camera itself. So that's where these PTZ positions are saved. And I want to make this part. Anyway, I'll use this, so hopefully y'all can see this. So right now, this is the default position, and I have a bunch of other ones. So I have position number 1 that is tight on the pulpit. Then we got position number 2, which is the wide pulpit. Number 3 is the left podium. Number 4 is the right podium. Number 5 is the band. 6 is the organ. 7 is the left mic for a soloist. 8 is the other soloist where somebody moved the mic. And then number 9 is the drummer who sometimes sings there. So the presets are just a saved Zoom XYZ position with Zoom, so that you can just press a button like I'm doing now and move it there. Obviously, I'm not at the church. It allows me to do it this way. Or if you have somebody who is in your booth and they're by themselves and they don't have a way to manually use the joystick because they're balancing a bunch of job roles at the same time, you can set a preset position, and then it just makes it easier that they can just reach over and press a button or open up this similar app. This is the PTZ Optics app, which works with any of the cameras that are supported, kind of like IP-based ones and things like that. So this camera that I'm on right now actually is a PTZ Optics camera, but I can go to the front camera, which is a SMT AV, and I have preset positions in this one as well too. So as long as the protocol is supported, it actually will work on any of supporting cameras. So that's what pretty much the presets are. It's just a preset position with zoom and everything and placement, and it just makes it easy for controlling it. So hopefully that helps, and I am logging out of here and shutting everything down on the church's computer. All right, good. Hopefully that answers your question. Back to John saying, I just visited a church to see their setup. They had 4-channel JTD audio system receiver and 4 mics, entire package, $149. Yep. Very good price. All right, back to Timothy asking about the Matrix. Run signal to 8 TVs, 1 by 1, 1 to many. So I wouldn't think you would need an 8 by 8 then, unless you have multiple inputs. If you're just going to do a 1 to many, personally, I like the Ori 1 by 8. That's what I've used, and it works very, very well. I've used the HD-based T version. I've used the HDMI over Ethernet one. I've used the one that's straight HDMI. They work great. I've actually used the monoprice SDI 1 to 8. That's what I'm using at First Union. That works as well too. So I don't think a matrix is needed unless you have multiple inputs that you need to route. If you're only using one, then just a regular splitter will work great. And I would recommend the Aura for that. Back to Mouthy. We have wiring issues, and I haven't been able to deal with yet, which I'm going to want to tackle, but we're planning to relocate, so there's been our focus. Understood. So y'all moving to a new building, different location where the media booth is, or just a physical building? And follow-up is, I just got a new Mevo Start using that because I don't have to worry about wires right now. Understood. Darren here, we use ProPresenter, but someone suggested that we use a different program for songs. Is that too much? Why would somebody recommend a different program for songs when ProPresenter can do both? I'm just wondering. I mean, what's the reasoning for that? I mean, you can do it, but ProPresenter is very, very powerful and can handle a lot of stuff. I guess I would want to know the rationale of why somebody would suggest that. I mean, we use ProPresenter at Antioch, and it does lyric, scripture, everything there. Back to Paul. Hey, AJ, what is the easier way to get my pastor to control the slides of his own presentation? I am using Worship Tools now, Presenter for the songs and any other presentation. Honestly, if you are not on the free version, if you get to the paid version, they actually have an app that you can remotely control and change the slides from your phone or your tablet. That would be the easiest way. If you have ProPresenter, you can get an app to do the exact same thing. That's what would be the easiest. And somebody sent me a message. I did have my phone on silent here. Let's see. Streets of Destiny, good morning from Phoenix. Would like to know how to set up X32 for live stream separately from house. I did that, and I actually just did that with First Union. I will I thought I had that in one of the X32 beginners. I actually have an X32 rack mount that I'm going to be installing at Zion Chester. So I will make a breakout video to explain that, because that's exactly what we're going to be doing there as well too. Back to Rhonda. What specs should I be looking for to make sure the controller is compatible with SMT AV cameras we're purchasing? Well, for the most part, they should be supported, but you're looking for VISCA over IP or on VIF control. And they typically will say that if it's an IP based camera, most likely is supported. But you want to look in to see what protocols it supports for the control. And almost all of these have the exact same controls. But if you want to be mindful, just look for VISCA over IP, on VIF. What's the other one? It's escaping me right now, but most of them are in that set. That's what you want to look for. Mom's video from San Francisco, California. I've always wanted to go to San Francisco. I want to see Alcatraz and see the Golden Gate Bridge and all this other stuff. I can't convince anybody that wants to take that long flight with me. I love being on long flights. It's humbling and calming for me. Back to Oasis. Sorry, I should have been clear. I am using a G5 II. How do I bring my mixer into the laptop using that? I mean, I would, let me see what that is, so I can actually see a picture of it. I mean, is there a brand name to that? Because it's pulling up a whole bunch of mixers, but it's not showing me the exact model. So yeah, if you can help me with that exact one, and then, I mean, it's pulling up syncs, stuff like that. But yeah, if you tell me that, most likely it's 1/4 inch RCA tape out, or it's an XLR out. And then either one of those would plug into an audio interface like that Scarlett 2i2 interface. And then that's what would be what you would use. Or you don't need to have the 2i2. You could use the input one. So something like this. So you could connect it through XLR or through a 1.4 1/4 inch cable. You know, you could do it that way. And then it just connects out to your computer through USB-C. And that's how, and then it would see that as an input. Like right now on vMix, for me, it shows up as a, it just shows up as the Rodecaster over USB, and that's how the audio comes in. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, what's up, Derek? Hey, Yanni. She's on her phone. I'll tell her, Derek. Yeah, my apologies. So this is the church that we're going to be visiting in Bristol, PA. So looking forward to meeting them there and then doing an on-site. We already had a consultation, but it's an on-site. We kind of got an idea of what's going to be done, but want to actually meet the folks there and actually see the lay of the land on what it's going to take to do everything, so there's no surprises. So again, my apologies for saying your name wrong. Danny wants to know, what am I using to remote into the church's computer? I am using Google Chrome Remote Desktop, which is completely free. All you got to do, I have a video on it. All you got to do is log your Google account on the computer, download this little plugin, and then it gives access to that. So, like, for example, if I go to it right now, these are all the computers I have access to. Churches, Greater Faith, AME Zion, my mom. That's mainly why I was using this, so I can remote into her computer so I don't have to drive 2 hours to get there. This is my other computer, the live streaming computer to the left. Fifth Street Baptist Church. I used to have access to them, but then just like we were talking about, there's somebody, why is his name escaping me? It starts with a J. But anyway, he's more knowledgeable in this stuff, so he actually installed Chrome Remote Desktop, so now he has access to it. You can only have one person at a time, so that's why I don't have access to this one. This is the computer that used to be in the chapel that I donated and I took down. I guess I need to actually pull that off. This was a computer at Chestnut Grove Baptist Church that hasn't been on in like 2 years because the internet is horrible out in Monroe, Virginia. And this is Community Independent Methodist Church, so I can always log in and see this. This is Epworth United Methodist in Baltimore. This is First Baptist Church of South Lynchburg. Good Shepherd Baptist Church, 1 and 2. Greater Works is Pastor Alicia's church. This is Norfolk. And then Signs and Wonders is the computer that I am putting there in place. And other one, Technobabble one, is my other system over here. So yeah, it gives me access to remote in, and then compared to the other ones, it doesn't cost anything. So hopefully that helped. Also, Reverend Richard has a very good suggestion, is you can always set the preset 0, and that is considered its home position. So when it turns on, that's where it goes to. So thank you for that. Ethan would like to know, have you had any problems with the $20 capture card and OBS not picking it up sometimes? No, I have not. Now, after I did that review video, that unit did burn out, and I bought like 4 other ones just as standbys because they were cheap. I actually got them when they were dirt cheap. I think they were like $10. But no, I have not. I have not had any issues with that. Now, I've had issues with OBS in general, but like everybody else, most of the time, the easiest way, if you're having issues with that, delete every single video capture input. If that still doesn't work, make a new profile and then make it. For some reason, OBS chokes up on and trips up on itself sometimes with video captures. Mike, yes, that app can. It can. It's in the settings that you would have to go to, and you can it can control a USB camera, network camera, or one of the protocols, and I think a COM port is one as well too. Hey Parker, honestly, that's just a basic script that I wrote years ago when I used to do all this stuff all the time, but I'll show you what the text is. It's not really anything super impressive because honestly, that was when we had more kids and they would do stuff on the computers upstairs. So I wrote that and locked down access for anybody to shut down the computer. And that basic script was really meant to do a scan before church was over and restart the computer. So if I come in here, and I'm just going to edit it so you can see it. I mean, really, it's just one command. It's just shut down, -F for force, -R for reboot, -T is for time, and that's 300 milliseconds, so that's 5 minutes. So that's pretty much it. I used to have scans and all this other stuff in there, but haven't needed that in quite a while. So that's why all that stuff was removed. I used to do other stuff to where, like, when we were recording to a locally, it would rename the raw video file that we recorded, then rename it, then push it over to our NAS, and then it would shut down. But all those functions we don't need anymore. So again, in Windows, it was a simple command of shut down space -F space -R space -T, and then put in your designated time in milliseconds. So I did 300, which is 5 minutes. And that's it. So when I run that, I mean, and actually, let me do this so you can just see that it literally does the exact same thing. If I copy this out and I'm going I'm doing a run command on my computer, which I don't want to do. We're going to open up come on, man. We're going to open up the command prompt, and then I'm just going to paste the command here. Can we change the font bigger so y'all can see? Yeah, so that's all it is. I run that. Windows will shut down in 5 minutes, and the R is going to make it reboot. That's pretty much it. All right. All right, so Mousy was saying they're actually moving into a new building. Awesome. Congratulations on that. Is it possible to set up the audio for GoToMeeting like Zoom for the people in the audience to be able to hear them in the sanctuary? We want to use this for Sunday. Yes, actually you can. That was similar to what I did for a video for Greater Faith. They were using something completely different than Zoom, and they wanted to do the audio like that. So the concept is still the same. I like using the VB audio cable to send that audio over. But if you have a direct connection in from your board into that computer, then you can just select that as your mic, and that's what everybody could hear. Now, if you want to hear it vice versa, you would need to have the speaker output from your computer going to the mixer. But you need to be careful with that so that they don't have a loop back on each other. So like an infinite loop of hearing everything over and over again. Streets of Destiny, I'm assuming you're saying your demo for the presets I just did access with Ethernet. Yes, all of our cameras are connected to Ethernet because that's how it's sending power to them. It's giving network access, and that's how my software was connected to it to be able to talk. But actually, let me take that back. Those cameras in my church are going through RS-232. That's how they're talking to each other. But the app is talking to the cameras through the Ethernet over our network connection. Olivera Ulysses, awesome name. Hey, brother AJ, have been researching for Mako for our Baptist church in Nicaragua, Central America. Awesome. I have studied your videos. Thanks a lot. You are welcome. Questions today are about NDI. How is the video switching done? Is there an affordable like ATEM hardware-based NDI switching? Yes, it's very affordable. OBS, and it's free. You can just download the plugin for NDI and you can control it that way. Just be mindful. The computer needs to be powerful enough to handle the processing of the NDI feed, decoding it when it's coming through, as well as fast enough to make sure that the video and audio is in sync. Now, if you want the next phase of that, depending on how many inputs, you can start off with the $60 version of vMix, and vMix has it built in natively, and it can handle that as well. A dedicated, affordable one, the next thing you're looking at is like the TerraDeck ones that actually, I might be misquoting it, but they actually are the company that developed NDI, and those things started like $5,000. So honestly, the vMix or the OBS option, start with OBS just to see, because it's free, just to see if the performance meets your spec. If it doesn't, then you might want to maybe possibly upgrade your computer to something faster so that it can work. If that doesn't work, then maybe go with vMix, but still, you're going to need a computer that can handle that processing. Even if you went down that route, that's still cheaper than the NDI one. But again, I might not know. I don't know all the new stuff that's out. So in the comments, is there anything else that y'all are aware of that can offer that? Let us know. Let me see. Oh, also a follow-up question that you also had is, does NDI hex require an expensive LAN switch in order to support the traffic of streaming? Would you consider another separate network in order to not affect the performance? It doesn't require a specialized one. Honestly, a gigabit switch is fine. Just make sure on your NDI settings that you don't have any type of crazy video quality. Like when I was originally called over to Spring Creek, that's how they had their stuff set up. But no, not Spring Creek. It was a church in Baltimore. And somebody had a 4K PTZ camera, and it was sending maybe like a terabyte of data a second over the network. And it was horrible because their network couldn't handle it. Honestly, a typical gigabit switch is fast enough as long as you just set the settings appropriately, and you should be fine. If you have the option of doing a VLAN or a separate network, that would help. But you still need to dial it in so that it's not just tanking your network and sending too much data. Back to Paul. We have 2 overflow rooms, and video is from the streaming PC and the audio is from the mixer, but the sound is not in tune with the video. I thought of adding an HDMI audio extractor. Will that help? What are your suggestions? AJ, we're using a mini amplifier for the sound in the room, old unit. If it's not in tune, do you mean that it's not in sync with it? That's what I'm just wondering based off of what you're saying. Also, just a follow-up for the people who are asking, that's the Pelco. That was the other one. Thank you there, MA16. Visca, Pelco, and OnVFR is 99.99 on everything out there. So you should be good. So awesome. Thank you for that. Mitroy wants to know, can you suggest a budget-friendly wireless HDMI adapter? Well, it depends on your budget. I had a wireless HDMI adapter that was put in the chapel that I moved over to the sanctuary. That was $150. But again, I don't know what's considered budget. For me, that was kind of cheap. I like the Hollyland ones, but those are like $600. This, I hook up to a laptop for presentation remotely, and it worked perfectly fine for me. Sorry. Back to Oasis of Hope. It was a G5, Panasonic G5 into vMix. Okay, using a video card. I want to bring the audio into vMix from my X18 XLR to 1/8 to using that. Well, I mean, in your laptop, again, I still think that you got 2 ways. You could connect the audio directly to your Panasonic and let it just come through the cable going from your camera into your computer. Or like I said, a USB interface. You would just go from your mixer XLR into that audio interface, which is taking in XLR, and it just turns it into USB, and it just shows up as an audio input. So like, I don't want to do it right now on mine because it will shut me out if I did it. But do I even have another interface so I can test this out, show you? No, because the other one I have in my closet over there is the one I used to use, the Evo, but I don't have access to do it right now. But it just shows up as USB. So in vMix, you'll have an option of picking what's your video. You'd pick that, and then right under that same option, it'll ask you what's your audio. So like right now, I'm going through the ATEM Mini Extreme. In vMix, I say that my video is ATEM Mini Extreme, but in the audio, defaultly, it picks Blackmagic. But I changed that to the Rodecaster, which is showing up over USB. That's all you would need to do. And I think that's the easiest way for you to get that working. Yes, Paul, I went under my Google account and set up Chrome Remote Desktop on all the computers under my email account. And that is an account that's locked. Nobody can get to it. I just need to have my profile in Chrome. But then I don't have it synced, so nobody can get access to none of my stuff. I just have it logged in just so I can have access to that computer. Mom's video. We are getting ready to install 2 LED panels in our church. Refresh LED is a faith-based company that we fell in love with. Hey, I might need to look into them. I'm actually just ordered the screens from LED Nation, so I'm looking forward to that, and I will take y'all along with that. But I will look at that as well, because I have a bunch of people who are looking at that. Refresh LED. So let's see. These folks here. People versus Armada. All right. Getting ready to say, Monty, that almost looked like you for half a second. I was just like, what Monty over there? But yeah, I'm really excited to see the Brooklyn Tabernacle. I know them. So it's really cool. So they do have some rentals. I'm just wondering why anybody would rent that. I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to think through that, because that must be a serious price. That's a PDF. That's not what I wanted. But see, man, I'm really excited about doing some stuff like this. Like, that's awesome. Oh man. Anyway, but thank you for that. I keep them in my group to see if I can look for some other stuff like that too. So awesome. I just love the fact that so much tech is actually coming down in price. Because I remember originally when I was looking at this 7 years ago, they were like, it was $250,000 a screen. So Carriers of the Covenant, I have an option in there that says to save my passcode, so I don't have to do it. I have one set, and it's saved once I log in once, and I don't get prompted from my computer. If I do it on anybody else's computer, I set the code for there. So it's not that anybody's sending me a code. Paul saying the latest update on OBS, what actually is not working, plug in on any others. I have 2 video captures and an audio interface streaming to Facebook. Do I hold on to the update or update it? I updated the one at the church at Antioch, and if they had an issue, somebody would have told me. I haven't had any issues, which reminds me, I need to send a message to make sure who is available, because one of my contractors is not going to be available, and I'm going to be at First Union. Let's see. Back to Rhonda. AJay Mini as video switcher connected to Windows PC with integrated graphics, OBS or Stream. I have an Elgato HD60. How do I connect that to the flow, and will it help offload the CPU? It won't. It won't help with offloading it, because all of that is before. In your setup, the way you have it, if it's the AJay Mini, the original one, that's just a capture card, and all the lifting is on OBS and on that computer. The only way to take that the load off of that is to have maybe like a web presenter, kind of like what I'm using right now to stream what y'all are seeing, which you can go from $495 for the base, $695 for the 4K version. That would just, then you would offload everything. So like, even though my computer can handle live streaming, but the web presenter is handling all of it. Or if you can find anything like a GTX 750, the lowest you can go, that type of graphics card would handle all of the live streaming, something like that. But again, graphics cards are still a little bit overpriced. So let's take a look and just see what's available right now. So heading to Newegg, and let's look for some graphics cards. Because again, you don't need something super out of control. Like these graphics cards are still going for $2,000. No, not at all. Let's sort this by lowest price, what is actually available. And get out of here. Why did y'all sort it like that? So we're trying to see a good, decent card that is very reasonably priced. Let's see. Let's go with a have it sell from Newegg. I don't want any other vendors. The 730s don't work because they don't have, you need a GTX to do that. So honestly, these ones are very, very affordable in comparison. So this GTX 1050 is actually the same thing that actually we used to live stream with. So either one of these, the 1050s, would be more than enough to take off all that load. But honestly, at the same price, this is a 1650. This is a better deal. This right here, the 1650, get that if you can. This will be more than enough to handle all of your live streaming. And I mean, that's not a super new card, but it is newer than the 1050, and this will be more than enough for your live streaming. This is what I used to use in my streaming, a 1650 for years, and it didn't have any problems at all. So that would greatly help, because in OBS now you would have the NVENC encoder, the hardware encoder, which will be using the GPU to live stream. All right, so back to here. We want vice versa. I did put a speaker on the iPad that we were using, and we were able to hear the people online. But like you said, sometimes we would have to deal with feedback. That's a setting that we need to play with. It's doable. I have to physically see it, but it's doable. And I've been meaning to do a design video of how I would bring in Zoom and all this other stuff and things like that. So when I'm up there, we can talk through that, and then unless I do a video before that, and we can get you straight. Back to Mitch Roy. Previously, OBS had an option for an animated lower third, so we could have the name of the person presenting, but since the update, it stops working. Yeah, I've heard that a lot with that plugin. Can you recommend software to create lower thirds for free that it can be added easily? Honestly, I would say Presenter is the easiest way. Or if you want to do something like that, H2R Graphics is another one that's free that you can use to integrate to do something like that. Back to Paul. I am using OBS. When I'm doing transitions on my laptop, it shows nice fading, but on live, it shows blurry fading. It sounds like your computer's not being able to handle it. That's what it sounds like from there. All right. Folks, if y'all don't mind taking a second to hit that like button, it really does help. It helps YouTube know that something good is going here, and it puts this video out to more people. So we'll really appreciate if y'all would do that. Thank you so much. So back to Paul, based off of what you just said, and you're saying that the audio is out of sync, it's a computer. The computer's not fast enough to handle that. That's what I'm thinking is the issue. And we got some other people giving some suggestions in the chat. So thank you there for that, Otis. Back to Rhonda. On our Mackie 1604, all three aux jacks are connected. I don't know to what. How do I find out? I'd like to set up an aux. Honestly, get a headphone jack, kind of like what I have here. Put a 1/4-inch extension on it and just plug it into the aux and turn the volume down, and then just start playing something so that way you can hear it. That's honestly what I would do. The New Covenant Nation UK. Audio-related question. What settings or mix would work to keep my pastor's voice audible and loud even when his tone drops? Otis, if you're still out there, I'm going to hand that over to you. If you can help out with that one. I mean, because there is a floor limit. So you would need something that wants to boost when it gets below a certain level. It's almost kind of like the opposite of a limiter. But I'm going to leave that to Otis because he knows way more about some of the settings that he's done on the X32 offhand faster than I can just imagine what it can be. Um, Back to my cousin Derek. So what is the next thing that you are learning to add to your skills? Honestly, it's LED walls and just playing more with sound and EQing and all this other stuff, and looking at starting to mess with Dante. That's what I'm really looking at. And then ultimately going to be lighting is the next set of things that I'm working on. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people have been having some issues with OBS. Now, y'all do know y'all can go to OBS and go to the previous working version if you're having any issues. So that would work for anybody who's having issues with the animated lower thirds and all this other stuff. Y'all can go back and install that older version and just ignore the updates until something more stable is there. Hey, AJ, what is a 300 megabits per second wireless USB adapter used for? I ordered 2 a while ago, just received them, but forgot I ordered them. Well, those were just wireless adapters, so they would be like giving a computer that doesn't have Wi-Fi access Wi-Fi. That's what all that would be. That's all they would be for. Back to the Covenant Nation, UK. We have a separate mixer for streaming online. Should we do all the mixing on the mixer from streaming, or do you suggest doing some mix on the main in-house and mixer first? What's your advice? It depends on your board. What I've been doing originally, kind of back to a question somebody asked earlier, I like having one board, but then using a mix bus or a mix or aux mix, it has multiple names, that's just for the live stream. So that's what I'm doing at Signs and Wonders. That's what I'm doing at First Union. So I have the main board that's for the house that adjusts everything. I set levels for a live stream mix that goes specifically to the live stream. So if somebody is not loud enough on the live stream, I'm adjusting the volume for the live stream only, which doesn't affect the house. Now, if your board supports that, that's the easiest way to do that. Or you can do an aux out, which does the same thing. That's kind of like what Rhonda was talking about. That's the easiest way, because then you don't have to duplicate all your signs, all your connections. Because with another mixer, this is what Abundant Life did. They duplicated every single connection from the board and had 2 separate boards to run the audio. And thankfully, with digital mixers, you don't have to do that. That would be my suggestion, to consolidate and do everything. If you have a digital board that allows for creating a separate mix, as in a mix for your choir, the pulpit, external rooms, you would just make another one for your live stream, and now you can adjust the levels just for the live stream without impacting anything else. That's what I personally like. Benoit, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. My French is very rough, but hey, from France, man, I need to get out there. I've always wanted to go, but I need to get my French a lot better so I don't sound like a typical American expecting everybody to speak English. I followed your insights on the Ryzen 5600G and M2 SD, and everything works so fast. Thanks. Hey, you are welcome. The question is, why don't you stream directly from the ATEM Mini Pro through Ethernet, but instead do it from OBS? What is the advantage of that? Well, currently, I don't do that. Well, yes, I do. Like right now, I have the ATEM Mini Stream, but I'm going through vMix. The only reason I'm doing that is because doing the graphics and stuff like you see right here is easier through the built-in functions of vMix. That's the only reason why. Another reason why I would do OBS instead of streaming from the ATEM, which I really don't like. I actually like people streaming from the ATEM directly. The only time I would do that is if you specifically want another window, meaning that the ATEM is going to be going to in-house, and whatever is in-house is going to go there. So if you wanted to do a countdown timer, anybody in your house is going to see that as well too. If you want to avoid that, that's why I use OBS just as a filter, just to show a countdown timer that's separate. That's what we do at Spring Creek. OBS is just meant just to do graphics that's just for the live stream. and separate it. That's the only reason. So, but I'm glad the system is working great for you. Rhonda wants to know, can you add a graphics card to a laptop? Yes and no. You can get an external GPU. Like Blackmagic used to actually sell one. I don't know if they still have it. And what year was this? This was last year, this article. There are a few devices that can be used. It looks like this Razer X Core is one here that you can add. This is on Amazon. It's an aluminum, it's actually just an enclosure. It doesn't include a card in it, I don't believe. So this, you could add a GPU to your laptop. So that's $400, but then on top of it, you need another GPU to actually go inside of it. So you're looking at almost like $700 to $1,000 to add one. So, oh, and you can't see the price on here. So something like that. Can it work? Yes. Have I used it? No. Would I use it? I would pause, because honestly, in that amount, you know, I'm a PC guy. So at that price, I would honestly just build a PC to do that, and then get like a Ryzen 5 with an embedded GPU or a Ryzen 7 embedded GPU, and it'll give you the horsepower that you need. That's just me personally. That's what I would do. But that is an option for you. I will put a link here in the chat if you're interested in it. And this external GPU for laptop. Back to Paul. He was saying, but for now, my audio is not connected to the streaming PC. It's connected direct to the main mixer. Oh, well, then that's also a part of your problem. Because it's directly connected, the audio is going to come faster than the video. So you need to send the video to the same system that's sending the video and let it do the sync and go out. If not, what you would need to do is put some type of delay on that audio to match the video, which would require another piece of hardware to do that if your board doesn't support a delay. Phantom Hacker here. Hi, AJ. What programs do you suggest for me to use for my church? Only record audio. I use Audacity, but it doesn't work on the church PC. That's strange, because honestly, that would be the first one that I would work. I'm just wondering, why wouldn't Audacity work? That's one of the most simplest apps there. Anybody else got any suggestions on audio? Because, I mean, for recording, because that's all I've ever used. I mean, you could always use the built-in Windows recorder. I mean, if you want to use something like that. But I'm more concerned about why it's not working. Because maybe we can fix that so that Audacity could work. MA16. Dante, as in Devil May Cry, the video game. No, not that. Dante, the card that can, and protocol that can go into the X32, because that's what Otis saying. That's how he's sending audio to another part of the building. I want to play around with that, because that might be a solution for sending audio in other places. So, actually thinking about doing that if I needed to add ceiling speakers over at Signs and Wonders. Kendall, I have an A10 Mini running OBS for church live streams, and we want to add two budget-friendly PTZs under $800 each and two projectors. Which brand should I buy, and setup options? I like the Famacos only because you can get a bundle with two of them and the controller at the same time for like $1,900, which is great. And let me bring that up here. And two projectors. I mean, honestly, for the two projectors, if you're not already connected right now, the HDMI out from the ATEM, just go to a splitter and boom, there you go. That will handle that. And I'm looking for this Famaco bundle. Yeah, here we go. Sorry for me yawning. I'm going to copy this and send the bundle here. To PTZ and joystick bundle. So I would think about that, and then and if you're running into OBS for the church streams, and we want to add to budget, so the two cameras that I just put in the link there, and I'll show you here as well too, exactly the ones I'm talking about. It is this one right here. It is the two cameras and the joystick. They do have mounts. Me personally, the mounts are a little flimsy. They bend a little bit. So if you have a near a slamming door, the door will make it shake. So that's why I started getting heavier, thicker steel mounts for these. But great cameras as well. That's what will work with this. Get a $50 PoE switch. They'll send power and control to all three of those units, and then fiber HDMI cables, depending on how far away you are, connects it to your ATEM, and boom, that's it. You can have get maybe a USB to HDMI output if your computer that's doing OBS doesn't have another output, and then you can just have that output feed to your projectors through a splitter, and there you go. Hopefully that makes sense, and that will work. Yeah, Scott, I lighting really helps a lot. I know some of these PTZ cameras, I mean, I've seen churches that wanted to do lighting, and we put these cameras in. It made a night and day difference, so lighting was not that essential yet, but lighting does add more, and that's one thing I know I need to get more into. So I can get a better understanding, so I can actually talk from knowledge instead of like, hey, I need you to talk to somebody else because I don't know that. Yeah, that sounds good, but I just want to know what type of GPU do you have that, and what's the task it's going to be using? MA16 V3 also says, yes, you can use a GPU externally, but there's some limitations. So thank you for that. But Rhonda, honestly, have it built in. Like my Acer laptop has an AMD and an NVIDIA GPU inside of it, so I have double for my trouble. And I'm not pushing a lot. I can do editing on the go if I need to, live streaming. Oh, it crushes it. And so I'm good with that as well too. So I think a laptop you'll come out easier from that. Oh, and also MA16 was saying maybe one is having an issue with Audacity that ASIO was dropped, so that may be the problem. Oh, okay, I got you. Back to Paul. So I'm planning to convert the audio to come from the streaming PC that would do the sync. I would draw the plan and post it on the Facebook ASAP. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and also, y'all are talking about the Facebook group, which I didn't mention, but it is a wealth of knowledge there, folks, because it's 2,800 media ministries from all over the world, and it's like this Q&A every single day. Whatever hardware you're using, somebody else in the world is probably using that, and that's what it's for. So if you're not a part of that, hey, I recommend you join it. It's completely free. We did add a new rule that we don't talk about or try to offer or give away software. We don't steal, folks. So we gotta, we always recommend stuff, but hey, we give you alternative options that don't really cost anything. But if you're looking at software that costs, guess what? Buy it. If you can't buy it, try something else. It doesn't cost anything. We don't do none of that. But just look up Facebook, Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and boom, you're in. And that's it. And don't live stream inside the group. And we're good to go. Ray L, hello. Thank you for joining us. Back to Phantom Hacker. To record audio to the church PC, correct me if I'm wrong, what cable do I connect in the church soundboard into the PC, and what port do I put into the PC? The line in, correct. Yes, the best one would be your line in, and I mean any output. You can convert almost any output on your board to a 3.5 millimeter, which is the line in jack on your computer. So it'll be XLR out, 1/4 inch out, RCA out. Any one of those will work. There is an adapter for all of them, because where's that one I just had? I mean, here's a 1/4 inch to 3.5, which is exactly the type of cable that I'm using right now for my mixer to go into my ATEM. I typically get the ones for the X32 because no one has really been using the RCA. I always use that aux 5 and 6 that is RCA out. I get those from like Target for like $9 or Lowe's, and I get RCA to 3.5, and then that works as well too. And I'm looking at the time, folks. I'm probably have to go here in a little bit so I can get all cleaned up and we can go get something to eat and then go see Sonic. Otis was saying, what PTZ mount do you use? Honestly, anyone that's under $30, to be quite honest. I got some new ones this time around. I'm going to see how those work. Let me show you which ones I ordered. Oh, no, I didn't order those because these cameras actually came with a more heavy-duty mount. You said duty. And as big as Amazon is, why does searching on it take forever? All right, so here's the ones that I typically have been using here. So I had the white ones, and they were under $30. So, and they're universal, and they work great. And I don't know why my screen in front of me, all the green is off. Anyway, these are the ones that I use, and I will put a link there for those if you're interested in those. We're gonna do about 7 more questions, folks, and then we're gonna be shutting it down. Back to Darren. AJ, we use the ATEM Mini Pro. I'd like to record the service as well as use multiple monitor screen, possibly, or do we need to just go to the extreme? I'm sorry, my daughter just came over here and started dancing. Are you back to sit? You back to sit and talk with me now? Honestly, based off what you said, honestly, yes, go to the extreme. Would be easier because the equipment that you would need to add to make the ATEM Mini Pro do what you need to do, it's going to cost you how much it would be for you to get the ATEM Mini Extreme. MA16, looking at options for smoothing out the movement of the PTZs using 2 AVCAN units, but can the controller also have an impact on how the smooth motion is? Yes, it does. You might want to dial in its speed control and how it handles when you're doing each function. That's a setting inside the camera as well as the joystick, so you might want to play with those. Back to Phantom Hacker. My church budget does not have a good budget. Hey, don't we all have that issue? Some of us do. So the only equipment we have are phones. What apps can I use to record video on my phone? I don't want to use the phone audio, though. Honestly, I'm going to have to turn that over to the group because I don't know one off the top of my head. not even going to try and pronounce your name, so my apologies. Please, I'm just joining the live. Which PT do you recommend on your experience? Well, I mean, it all depends. I've looked at the PTZ optics, the ADA imaging, the SMT AV, the Famaco, the Priscilla's, I already said the SMT AV. I mean, I've gone through a bunch of them. And to be quite honest, from a functionality standpoint, they're almost exactly the same. Some have NDI functions, some don't. Some have better support than others. You know, I would rate PTZ Optics and ADA Imaging's support above everybody else. SMT AV has great support. All the other ones, I've really not had to contact them, but they've worked well. So, I mean, it's more about what your budget is. Like if you're trying to go as low of a price as possible with great quality still, it is the Famacos. And actually, the Avicans has actually dropped in price recently. So they're working as well, too. Yanni, they are saying that you are very beautiful. And yes, you are a little girl.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on. I didn't have you on the camera. My bad.
Thank you.
All right. Rhonda also wants to know SMT AV or Famaco. Honestly, the only difference I would say is SMT AV if you want a PTZ that's in white. The Famacos are only black or gray. So if you want one that's white, that's the reason why I didn't use that at my church, because the wall was white. So it's weird. Some people are just weird like that. They want it to match and blend in with the wall. So that would be, honestly, I think both of them are great. The Famaco actually has auto flip, which the other ones don't. You have to go in the setting and change that. But besides that, the only reason I picked the SMT AV or any other camera over the Famacos is if they somebody specifically says they want a camera that's white that blends in with the wall. But that's the only difference. Pat, no, not yet, but I've had a couple of people ask me. So when I get the X32 rack mount that I'm supposed to be installing, I will do some more detailed stuff for routing. I did a lot of that stuff at First Union, and I meant to record that yesterday, but I was just so busy trying to get this stuff working that I didn't record it. But that's it. But I will go as much as you mean. Shane wants to know GPU. That's the graphic processing unit. So that's, little girl, carefully hand me that big black box that's under all that stuff. Yes. Take the stuff off the top, please, and hand me the box under there, please.
Okay.
Hey, you can grab all of it. It's just paper. Yeah, no. Take all the paper and everything off. Thank you. And just hand me the box, please. Merci beaucoup. Or as my friend Shree says, murky buckets. So, when we talking about GPU, we's be talking about one of these. So this is a graphics processor that's going to offload everything. This is actually a RX 570. This is actually a GPU that was in the computer that I built for Augustine, but he's upgraded his GPU and he sent me the original back. So this is actually going to be used in an install. But yeah, this gives us 5 outputs, a DVI, 3 display ports, and an HDMI out. So this could give me 5 outputs if I really wanted to use something like that. But that is what the GPU we're talking about is. Back to Ron, I was saying, DaVinci Resolve's latest version gives me an error on the laptop. Can't recall what it is. Something regarding GPU issue. I guess it needs more hardware. Well, no, what you might want to do is inside of DaVinci Resolve, because sometimes when you do an update, it does this. And I'm going to bring up my DaVinci Resolve and just show you this one setting you got to do. Little girl, what are you doing?
I'm looking at the camera.
You pretty little girl. Daddy loves you. You know that?
Huh?
I said, Daddy loves you. You know that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go over here to the computer real quick. So I'm just going to open up a generic project here. And what we want to make sure is under preferences and memory and GPU, make sure you have this set at auto. I didn't have mine because this is the GPU that I have in here, an RTX 2070. But you might want to play with this. And honestly, the easiest thing, keep both of them checked off. And make sure that is, or make sure it doesn't have the wrong one selected, because you had the wrong one selected, you're going to have some big problems inside of DaVinci Resolve. And that is under DaVinci Resolve folder and preferences and then system. So make sure that those settings didn't get knocked out. I was wondering when you were going to pick your lunchbox up off the floor. Shane, most likely it does have one. You might not have that that internal one like that. With the Ryzen chips that I've been using, the APUs, they have that graphics card built onto the CPU. So if your CPU supports that, the motherboard does have output, but it is using a GPU in some way, shape, or form. It might not be 3D accelerated. It might be a generic one that's just on the motherboard. But most likely it's connected to the CPU in some way, shape, or form. Paul would like to know, does DaVinci Resolve have a subscription? No, DaVinci Resolve is completely free. I do have the studio version, but that came with my camera. But I was using DaVinci Resolve for years, and it is completely free. You just got to make sure you have a computer that can run it. All right, folks, we're going to be shutting it down because it is noon, and we got to get ready to go to this movie here with my little princess here. And I did get my stuff fixed. So I want to give a big thank you to all my patrons and YouTube members. I really appreciate your support. Their support allows me to do stuff like this, and gives me an opportunity to take the funds that they give me, not to make me buy a car or nothing like that, but I take those funds and buy either equipment that I do that y'all have asked me to review, or I donate it back to a ministry after I'm done. That's what y'all are helping me do, and I really appreciate it. You too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can become a YouTube member by clicking the join button down below. Either one of those get added into giveaways twice automatically, and Patreon supporters and YouTube members are able to see the replays of our Zoom meetings that are our bi-weekly roundtables that are normally, if you didn't attend it, you can't watch it. So that's just another way that I give back. And I normally do consultations that are discounted or sometimes free, depending on the different level of Patreon support. So Patreon supporters, hey, that stuff is still available for y'all. Y'all just got to reach out using the code that I've posted. So just want to take a moment right now to tell y'all, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. If no one's ever told you, I appreciate all the hard work that you're doing, the constant study, everything that you're doing to help move your ministry forward and embrace becoming an e-missionary, which is sharing the message of Jesus Christ throughout the entire world using technology